lot of y'all already know her, but could you introduce yourself? Tell us what genre you write in, anything you want us to know before we get started with this interview.
So I started out in paranormal romance, and I branched off into horror or zombie horror. So I write a zombie apocalypse as well. And I also write in the urban erotica, not urban romance, urban erotica. So I've been writing I've been writing all my life, but I published my first book in 2015, which was Deadly Secrets Awaken, what we talking about today.
Yeah.
For October.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get into this. Brothers That Bite. Why did you name it like that? Brothers That Bite.
So I was talking with one of my friends or whatever, because when I wrote the book, she was just like, man, we want black vampires. Like, I want something like Twilight. But I was like, we need more than Twilight, because it just wasn't given enough. Mm-hmm. So we playing around with names, and every time that I wrote a chapter, it was like more and more secrets coming out. And I was like, ooh, these is deadly secrets. So that's how that came about. And I was like, yeah, but I need something to go under it. And it's just, it makes sense. A vampire and a werewolf, they bite to clean. So it was like Brothers That Bite. So that's how it came about.
You have so many books in this series, because I did a fucking deep dive. After I read the first book, I was like, but even though I didn't go in order until you told me to order. We don't hold that against me. Charge to the game.
I gotta tell everybody. Though, you're not the only one. So,
yo, what made you want to write it as such a? It's not even complete, because you have so many moving parts in there that you can just pick a character out the damn book. Like, let me write a story about this person.
And write a story about them. Yeah.
So, what made you want to do it like that?
So initially, it was only supposed to be one book. But it ended up being so long, I ended up splitting it into two books. Books 1 and 2. And I didn't really think, because I wasn't writing it to sell it. I wasn't really writing it, thinking that other people would actually gravitate towards it, because who was reading Black Paranormal? We were looking for Black Paranormal. And a lot of people, I got a whole lot of people that were just like, they weren't into it or anything like that. So I didn't think it was going to take off, or people were really going to enjoy it. Until I did book 3. When I came back, I was like on a 2-year, I think, 3 years before I wrote book 3. Because I had logged back into Facebook, and it was all these messages of people asking when was the next Deadly Secrets book coming out. And I was just like, people actually reading this? So now I got to come up with a real story? Like,
now I got to come up with a real story. What the hell?
So it initially wasn't, it was just supposed to be about Michael Quinn or whatever, and Damon, coming through, and he doing whatever he's doing or whatever, and she turns into a vampire. They live like happily ever after or whatever.
I'm gonna ignore you, Blossom. I'm gonna ignore you.
So when people really were asking about it, I was like, okay, so I really need to come up with something more. And like more in depth to end the series. So when I wrote book 3, it just took on a life of its own, and the characters just started coming out of nowhere.
Damn.
And it just, they just all came out of nowhere. It was secrets around every freaking corner. Half the stuff I don't even know till I'm writing it. And I'm like, oh, dang. Oh, that's how vampires started? Like, I always knew that it was someone that was the first vampire. but I never knew at first, like, how did it start? Like, what was he at first, or how did he become this, and how did it all come about? Like, where did these vampires come from? How did you get pure bloods, and how did you get blue bloods, and how did you just get turned vampires? So it just all spilled out.
Girl,
By book 3.
You got sirens. You have werewolves. You have vampires. You have witches. You have shades. You have gods. You have demons. Girl, how do you keep up with that?
I don't know. It's all in my head. I have no idea how I keep up with it. And I felt like I couldn't write a paranormal book because a lot of people will just focus on, I'm just doing wolf shifters, or I'm just doing lichens, or I'm just doing vampires. My favorite show is Supernatural.
Absolutely.
So there's no way I could just write one set of supernatural characters. It's like it's so much more out there that I don't want to just focus on just a vampire or just a werewolf. And it seems like that was all everybody was into. So I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, I need to talk about other stuff. Incubus, succubus, just everything. Mermaids, jinn.
Yeah.
Like,
because, that was one of the biggest things that I always said. And don't get me wrong, I love a good wolf, but I like a lichen better. There's a difference, people. There's a difference. But I've always said, where were the other paranormal creatures like gargoyles, orc, goblins, fae? Well, I don't too much like fae.
You got elves, you got the fae, you got it's a whole bunch of other stuff. Fairies, and they're all different.
How is it writing the sexual part of it? And I'm not just saying it because it's a sex in it, but there is sex. Sex is different for supernatural creatures. How is it using your imagination to write the sexual aspect of their relationships?
Girl, all the way up until I was an adult, I thought I was a whole vampire, so it wasn't nothing unusual for me. But I guess it's just watching so many paranormal horror shows, reading so many paranormal romance books, or just paranormal books in general, that it was more second nature just writing it. Because just think about it, if you was a vampire or if you was a werewolf, what would you want your partner to be doing to you? It's got to be kind of animalistic. They're more aggressive, they're more like mine type thing. So it's just bite me on my neck.
So how do you keep them dominant but also in their feelings? Because Queen and them, Lord Jesus, they was dominant, but they was in their feelings a lot. So how do you keep that balance? How do you keep that balance for them?
I guess it's more along the lines of having that dominance, but also knowing you can let your woman lead as well. So it's like they have, since Michael is older, he has more of an emotional intelligence than a lot of normal people. So he already knows there's nothing going to take away from him relaxing or chilling or letting Taria do whatever she wants, because he let her do whatever she want.
Yeah.
And then come and clean it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And as far as Quinn, I think it's more of his temperament.
Yeah.
Knowing that he has a nation that he has to care for. It's not like he's just taking care of Toya and their babies. He has an entire nation of wolves that he has to care for himself. So he has to be able to appeal to the emotions of all of them, including Toya and his kids.
So how do you like keep it so that you give the hierarchy to both of these? You got the vampire, you have the wolf. And how do you make sure you keep the hierarchy separate but also keeping them as top dogs?
So that was a little tricky because like you've read all the way up to Shades of Passion. So you know Quinn has his own god. Like who he has to listen to, who he has to follow. And we know where Michael comes from and his father and stuff like that. And they have their own destiny and own things to follow. But if you like really do a deep dive into the series, you would see how they were put together.
Yeah.
So as Michael as almost like a caretaker for Quinn. So by him being there while he's growing up, and then when he became a werewolf and guiding him, you know, gave this like relationship of that's my brother. We're gonna rule each nation together. Because if you're together, you're stronger.
Right.
So you got that mindset of, blue bloods don't really mess with werewolves like that. Right. They don't like them just because they uppity or whatever. And werewolves is just like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. I don't care that you're a vampire or not. You know what I'm saying? So their bond is what holds it all together. And then by them meeting their mates at the same time, it just solidified everything.
Now, how is it for you to write the whole mate aspect of it? Because, you get a lot of paranormal where, they have their mates or their forever person, but it comes off like forced. Yours did not. Actually, it was funny, but it didn't come off forced. But how do you make it so that it's well taken and not come off like, ugh, this sounds like every other shit that I read?
I did it as if, what if it was me? How would I be able to react to that? Because you don't know everything about that world. You're thrown into something. And then they're telling you, no, you're my mate, you belong to me. You see what Toya did. Toya seen him shift and she took off.
She sure the fuck did.
Like, mate, who mate? Mate where? Like...
She sure the fuck did.
But I looked at it as like, what would I do? What would another black female do in a situation like that? And you do have people that are always been interested in that side of things, which was Taria. One, she was a journalist, so she was just nosy. So then she just wanted to know more and more and more, and it was just like, okay, now I'm here. I'm stuck here now. So what am I going to do about it? So I just wrote it in the perspective of whatever they say to these characters, to the women, what would my response be? Or what would my best friend's response would have been for Toya like? So it's more natural, not forced, because they still were young.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the series as long as it was, because you were able to see them grow and how immature they were in the beginning up until now where they're like running-ish, like they running shit.
Cause Toya a bad bitch.
Yeah, she grew up. She grew up, cause listen, people couldn't stand her because she was just loud, just doing stuff, just ridiculous.
It's natural.
Yeah, but it's just like you get to see them grow into women and into who they are. So you like walk that path with them, and it's just like,
how important was you to showcase Black women in a paranormal book and keep their individuality, but also represent for Black women as far as a whole?
So I guess I looked at it as if I was in this story. And it was like, I don't want to see women just having to be saved all the time, or just weak, or I wanted them to be able to save their man and still maintain being feminine. So, you know, us as black women have a stereotype of, oh, you too strong, you too this, you too that, or whatever. I can be all of the above.
Right.
And my man can still love me at the same time.
Right.
So it was important to showcase that, yeah, in the beginning they were scared, they were running, they didn't know what was going to happen. But by the time you get to books 3 and on, they're taking on whatever's coming their way, and they're not looking for their man or anyone else to save them. They may be the ones saving them. So it was just important to show that, you know, they can work together.
Yeah.
Or they can do shit on their own when they got to do it.
And that right there what made it even better. Not just the male characters, just the aspect of the women, you know, being loved on so much that they was comfortable in their femininity, but also could be some strong motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Now, you have spin-offs. You got Phoenix, Siren. I can't even think of all the names of them.
Alpha's Claim. So like it's more so of, so after Deadly Secrets, Brothers That Bite, you have like the novellas that kind of fill in that in between time before it gets to the Crown series.
Yeah.
So you start to get the other characters like Cam and Haley, and you get to see how you get to see how Taria's mother and her father met. In the novella as well. So it's like you get to see these different facets of the world.
Don't shut up, Blossom. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
So yeah, like you just get to see everybody. You know she is.
I'm gonna get your ass. But you have not only this paranormal series, you go into horror, because I'm gonna come back to the shades, but you go into horror and you go into zombies. So what made you, possessed you, even though that shit is good, I'm still waiting on my goddamn book, but what possessed you to write about zombies, and then incorporating Black people in there with zombies, because you really don't see, even in movies, Black people in movies, we die so quick. It's like that.
You rarely see. So I had a dream, and I was like, I woke up and I was just like, the dream had started, it was like this zombie apocalypse was happening, because that's all I watch is horror and paranormal. Everything else, I might can watch it for a little bit, but I'm gonna get bored. And then I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. So I had this dream, and it's just like, but the zombies were speaking, and it was just like, how are we gonna get out the city? Like, that was what the whole dream was about. So when I woke up, I had called my cousin. I said, hey, I'm about to write this zombie novel. Like, how we gonna get out the city? And he was just like, first things first, we gotta get an RV and we gotta stock up on a whole bunch of shit. I said, bet. So, like, we going back and forth of what would you be taking? So, with the knowledge that you already know, I just incorporated it into the book. Like, you want a strong female, which Kaylee is strong. Like, she don't take no shit from nobody. She gonna cut you off, shoot you, whatever. Like, get out my way. And I wanted somebody who is extremely intelligent, but also like this, not so strong of a male, but his character just stands out. Like, you're just gonna love him. So I was like, okay, what can I use? And I go outside and I look at my neighborhood and I'm like, this look like where some shit would go down. You know, people would come come out the house. And so I kept playing around with like, what would these zombies be saying? What would these zombies be saying? And I had a younger cousin, so I just like snuck up behind her and was just like, feed me. And she screamed and ran and was like, oh my God, it's the zombie apocalypse. And I was just like, oh, see, we on the same wavelength. All right, bet. Let me put that.
Wild.
Because we had made a plan and everything. Look, but while I'm writing the book, we made a plan and everything that we're going to leave her mother because she's going to be too slow. And and we gone. We going up north.
Girl. Get the fuck.
How you just gonna leave me? We be like, you gonna be too slow. You gonna be talking too much. We ain't got time.
Okay, so how do you keep it in horror? And even though you have a group of people together, how do you keep it in horror so it doesn't come off fantasy like? Because you know in fantasy it's always a group of people. There's a mission, blah blah blah. But how do you keep it in horror to make sure it stays horror type? You know,
the realism.
Mm.
So I try to because you know, like sometimes you just don't even like how did the zombie thing start. So I wanted to make it more scientific, to keep it more of like the real world that's going on, so it doesn't slide into that fantasy, even though the people are having visions. But as I think it was in book 2 how it explained, there are certain people that have these visions, which we know people do all the time. So it's just like making sure that the zombies come off as real because they're not technically dead, not all of them.
No.
Because they're talking, they running, they're thinking. So it comes off more like some type of virus that got out, which that's what it was anyway, like a virus that got out and it begins to mutate. So it keeps it in the world of horror without sliding into fantasy, like it's just some type of supernatural thing that happened where these zombies just came out of nowhere.
So how do you keep it so that the gore is enough but not overboard?
I usually write overboard gore and then I tamp it down some so it's just not over the top, but I'll make it seem like I don't have to say it, so I'll write it in a way where I don't have to say everything, but you can see it by like comparing it to something. So like, you know, you don't see somebody smashing somebody's head and there's just stuff all over the place. I might just use a food or something like he looked like a smashed pumpkin against, so you know visually what that looks like.
Yeah.
While at the same time, you're not hearing me describe all the blood, gore, and just constantly, because you'll get tired of it. Just constantly the same thing over and over again. So just using different words, different scenarios, different uses for things that are normal that you can turn into that does look like a mess. Like if I spilled a glass of wine or something, like that's what it looked like all over the room. We all know what a glass of red wine look like in stains.
How do you keep from putting your paranormal into your horror?
It's hard because I've thought about doing a crossover. Like I thought about just like something happening where it's not like an entire crossover, just like a peek, like, hey, what is that?
Right.
Before closing. But I want to keep it separate because I don't want it to slide into fantasy. I want to keep it strictly zombie apocalypse horror. So that's why I never did it.
I get that. So when can we expect the next book? I'm slide that in.
I love. So Shades and that book are my two books that are up next. I'm just trying to get through all of my orders, and I have a ton of orders, and it's hard to focus on writing while trying to complete all these orders that's been coming in. So I'm almost there though, because they talking. I'm ready.
See, I like it when they talk. I like
they talking, so I'm ready.
I like that Picasso. So now let's talk. Let's talk about Shade. Oh, every night I gotta fight for my love. Okay. Let's talk about Damon. You have gave him the redemption that he deserved. I know a lot of people don't like him because they're like, oh, he's a psychopath. Aren't we all some way? I mean, I'm just saying.
By the time they finished book 3, they was in love with Damon. Book 3 in the Crown series.
Well,
because of the redemption.
Well, I mean, okay, so what? He was a serial killer, but you know what? People have problems all the time. Get over it. God damn. Stop talking about that man, okay?
You better leave Damon alone when he show up. You know how he do.
You gave him his redemption story, but now he's going through a hell of a lot of shit. So why, at this point in his books, now are you giving him more shit to deal with?
So, as far as for Damon, it's to keep him on the correct path. Like, yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. He got out of it. It's time for him to get his reward, but also remember, it's always easy to slide back. Because he was possessed for a long time.
He was.
And they all wanted him, you know? So it's like basically keeping him occupied because he's still crazy.
Yes.
He still might go out and snatch somebody up off the street. So you got to keep him.
But now he's in love.
Now he's in love with Blossom. So, but that comes with a whole set of complications.
It does, because she keeping secrets too.
Yeah, everybody keeping secrets.
Everybody. So how do you keep the secrets in the secrets? How do you keep writing secrets on top of secrets and remembering the secrets to be revealed?
Look, it just keep coming out. And I guess it's because I know how it's going to end, that secrets just spill out that actually connects to the ending of the series. It ain't ending no time soon, but I already know. How many books is I already know. Yeah, I already know like the ending or whatever. So, but it's still a lot that needs to be covered because there's so many characters. Like we ain't even touch on Derek. You know, who he gonna be with, stuff like that. Like the people that's surrounded with Michael. You know, where is Taria's parents? Novellas? We probably will get novellas. We probably will get some novellas. Because you know how I like to do novellas for like the little side characters that incorporate into the story. So every book that you pick up on Deadly Secrets, it's got something to do with the main plot. Like they have something to do. They're supposed to be somewhere or doing whatever that has to do with the main plot of the stories. Even Alpha's Claim, even though that's his own spin-off series.
Yeah.
it still has to do with Deadly Secret's main plot.
Yeah. I'm just in awe because, yo, I can't even remember my homework from like an hour ago. And you have literally written books for a series that has a it's a series, and a series, and side characters, and that's why I'm
A
so
lot.
like
That's why I left. This is why I think this is why I don't understand why people can't keep up with multiple point of views or a lot of characters, because I'm like, I literally have over 30 characters in one series
you do.
that I have to keep up with, that I keep up with without a problem. But then again, I read Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and all that other kind of stuff, so
Girl, you's a bad motherfucker. It's like I said, I can't even remember shit from an hour ago. I have to write the shit down. So
I don't know how I remembered it. Honestly, I really don't. Like, I just know.
so so what is the genre that you prefer?
Paranormal.
That's the genre.
That is my comfort zone. Other writing in other genres is fun. It helps keep me active, like my mind active, and it also helps me progress and learn to write better. So over time, like, I wrote Deadly Secret so long ago. I wrote it before it was even published. So it was written probably in like 2010. So it's like you get to see not only the characters grow, but I grow as a writer. So jumping into another genre did help me learn different things, different vocabularies. It just helped. So that's why I prefer paranormal, but I don't mind writing in other genres, just not romance.
Girl, I couldn't even see you writing a romance book to save my motherfucking life.
It'll never happen.
I will look at you. I will have to text you. Hey, you okay? You cool? Cause
It'll never happen.
I'll be like, you cool?
Mm-mm.
So
I would be so bored.
okay. So now I'm going to go back. What is the end game for? Let's take Brothers This White out the equation. What is the end game with Shade, and what could possibly be next? Gargoyles, orcs.
The end game with Shades is Blossom dealing with her brother.
Can
because
we just
remember Shadow?
Blossom.
Because Shadow is in the picture, and it also Shades ended on Shadow connecting with the elf. So we're gonna learn more about that and about her world, because we really don't know anything about the elves and why they're so neutral about everything.
Blossom, I know gargoyles are there. I'm talking about a separate series just on gargoyles, woman. God damn. No,
I don't know. I probably won't do a separate series, but it'll be like, how I did. I guess like what's her name? Daria and the Shades.
Yeah.
So as a story,
is it gonna be like the Sirens and the Phoenix story?
Mm-mm.
Is it gonna
No, because I have a different way that I'm gonna do my gargoyles, and it's gonna be deep. That's all I can say.
Deep gargoyles, tails, and big dicks? I'm all for it.
It's gonna be deep. Like the storyline of the plot of it, and how they came to be or what they are, and because it's also going to have to do with the main plot as well. So it's going to be deep.
Okay, Blossom, you can have Damon. She said gargoyles. I'm jumping ship. I'll be there for that. I'm claiming them now. Claiming them now. Just saying. All right. So you have done vampires, you have done werewolf, you've done a lot of supernatural characters. All right. What supernatural character have you not done yet that you are dying to do that it makes sense to you and we probably be looking at you, hey?
A Hydra.
A Hydra? A Hydra? I thought you was gonna say Kraken. A Hydra? Y'all know what a Hydra is, right? How you gonna put a Hydra? Wait, is this gonna be like a Hydra main character, or is this gonna be like a Hydra main character or a Hydra?
I can't tell you how it's gonna be, but when it comes, you're gonna be like, what?
I swear for, if I see anybody write this, I'm gonna know something.
They ain't gonna be able to write it like that.
A Hydra. I have to see. Oh my god! And I just know it's gonna be epic, and it's gonna be cliffhangers.
You know, every story is a cliffhanger, even when it's finished.
My god. Okay, so is there a female character you haven't written yet in your paranormal that you would love to write that we have never seen in personality wise or even supernatural?
I've written them, but you don't really know anything about them, if that makes sense. It's actually 2 of them. So they will be making more of an appearance soon.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know how people gonna feel, but yeah.
Shit. I should have kept my mouth closed.
I'm not talking to you.
So are you going to move away from the urban erotica and just focus more on the paranormal and horror? Or are you just taking a break for now?
I'm taking a break from the erotica just so I can work on my Deadly Secret stuff, because I really have to catch up. Like, I took a whole year off from writing my paranormal and my horror just to get this out, because I didn't expect the other stuff to go the way that it did. So I just want to take some time, step back from that, let it do its own thing, and work on my books that I actually already had planned out. Like, I already know what I'm writing, and it was already in the making anyway.
Yeah.
For me, in my head. Like, the story continues in my head as an ongoing thought or world inside my brain.
How do you deal with daily life?
I have no idea.
Because I hear y'all always saying that the characters are talking to you, get on your nerve. You got Mel Doe talking about come scooch in because let me tell you what these motherfuckers done said to me. How do y'all maintain daily life as writers? You know, writing.
Speaking about them as if they are real people.
Well, in your readers' minds.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
So to me, like, I will have a full-blown conversation like these people are real. And it actually does help, especially with brainstorming, with how to work certain things out. So being able to do that helps keep the order in your mind. Like, and then you got to come to compromises with these characters. Like, hey, listen, I gotta write this. So they say, all right, I'm gonna let you do what you do, but I'm gonna be back. And
Yeah.
when I'm back, I'm gonna be loud. So like, it's a fine line.
So, how do you, as a writer, how is it to write paranormal compared to writing like urban fiction or urban erotica? How is it different? And horror, how is it different, and how do you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to write these things? Because whether y'all know it or not, supernatural is just that's a spiritual thing. So, how do you prepare yourself for that?
So when I'm going back to paranormal, I start to read old stories or listen to audiobooks that
Mm-hmm.
has to do with the paranormal world, and just watching any and everything that has to do with paranormal stuff, which I do anyway, but it just ramps up more to start sliding me back into that mindset of this is what's happening. It's a spiritual battle going on in my head anyway with the paranormal creatures, because that is what's happening in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like immersing myself in that type of genre.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I start writing, then I start to listen to different genres that has nothing to do with paranormal or horror. And it just keeps my mind active,
Mm.
because I have to force myself to look into this world, because it's hard to pull yourself out of it. I don't know if people know that, and that's why a lot of authors might take a break,
Mm.
or they might stop a series for a minute, um, because it's hard to pull yourself out of that world, and it's also hard to just thrust yourself back in there. And like with my world, it's so complicated that I can't just turn back around in there and then boom, here you go, a story, because it's
Mm.
already a world built.
Yeah.
And whatever happens in that book needs to connect to the main story.
Yeah.
So trying to keep them separate, it's only hard when I'm doing a genre that isn't supernatural, because I
Mm.
want to turn everybody into a witch or a vampire. Like, we could have got out this situation if somebody opened a portal. So it's a constant struggle for me not to say, "Oh, look at that werewolf," or like something like that. Like, it's like, dang, that person could have been, he could have been a jaguar or something. Like,
Girl,
is that you heard? I
don't
had that
nobody in
conversation with you.
your urban erotica need no type of supernatural nothing.
Listen, didn't we have this conversation? I said, what's the name could be a shade, and tell me he can't.
He can, but I'm saying, don't nan one of them Negroes need to be no type of supernatural power having nothing. They are already enough. They already enough. Robin asked the question. She said, "What inspires you to write paranormal? Who inspires you to write paranormal?"
Probably my mother and my father, because that's all we watched. That's all I watched was horror movies growing up. Everything was horror from when I was a kid, from reading, watching, listening,
Mm.
everything. So, and then I just wanted to write stories about it. So my grandmother would be like, "Okay, write me a story."
Yeah.
Or my little cousin would be like, "Oh, can you write me a story about aliens?" And I never thought that it could be a career.
Mm.
And I feel like if I would have spent more time on it, I probably would have been writing early on in my life more,
Mm.
except for like just doing short stories and stuff.
Phoenix asks, "Who are you reading in your spare time? Do you have spare time?"
I don't have no spare time. Not right now. I haven't read anything since probably February. And I reread a book.
Damn.
Like, I have so many books on my TBR. Um just, just a whole bunch of authors, because I want to support indie authors, so I'm going to read those books. Um she's reading me. I was. I was rereading that book too. Because I literally have to keep myself, especially when I was writing in the urban, I had to keep myself immersed in that, and I didn't want to read anything else that could throw me off or potentially make its way into my story.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing stuff like that, I'm listening to military science fiction books.
You said military science fiction?
Military science fiction books.
That's
I love it. Yes.
Well, keep that shit away from me. I got enough military in my life. Good. Keep that over there.
Just think about it. Like, it gives you so much information. Well, for me, it gives me so much information, like how you would act, how you would move. You already know this stuff. I went in the military.
No, just thinking about my service in the military is giving me hives. No, thank you.
Lord.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, military sci-fi is it.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But then again, I didn't know it was a thing called Amish romance. So, yeah, it's a thing. Amish romance books. Yep, it's a thing. It's a thing. You learn something new every day. Now,
that's different.
What is it like being an indie author in paranormal that has to go against these traditional paranormal authors? That's the first question. Second question is, how is it being a Black woman in the paranormal space as an indie author?
It's terrible. One, you can't it's hard to find readership. Like, it's coming out more and more now that people are starting to read paranormal or finding paranormal, but it's like you can't, our people aren't supporting indie paranormal authors enough. Like I said, I've been writing since 2015, and yes, people have read it, but not a lot of people have read it. And it wasn't that I wasn't promoting or anything like that. It's just that if it wasn't traditionally published, or if it wasn't their favorite author, they weren't reading it. It's just like you get shoved to the side. As far as like trade pub, we aren't even in competition because they don't see us. They don't see us. It's like, hey, we're right here. We do Black paranormal, but you still have people saying, I didn't know Black paranormal was a thing. It's like,
how can we help y'all? How can us who are readers, die hard? Because I always say I'm a paranormal reader before I'm anything. I do read other genres, but paranormal is my bread and butter. Paranormal, yeah. So how can us as readers, besides have y'all going to Comic Cons and stuff like that, because a lot of people who read paranormal don't go to Comic Cons. You know what I'm saying? And then when they go to book events, it's the authors that are who wrote a horror book or a paranormal book for the month of October, not someone who actually writes it all full time. How do we help you guys? Because I feel like the readers can make motion if we put our minds to it. So how do we help you guys?
It's probably more so of like, if you got friends you want to read with, or a book club you want to read with, and you're talking about it, because word of mouth is the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how much money you pay in promotion, how much time you spend talking. Other people talking about it, other than the author, and reading it and showing it, it helps tremendously. And we don't get that enough. We see basically the urban genre or romance genre shown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
The only time a paranormal book truly comes out to say people are reading it is in the month of October, or a traditionally published person put out a book.
Which is crazy.
You don't really get to see you don't see a lot of people talking about paranormal series on Booktalk or anywhere, Instagram, it doesn't even matter. You don't really see it like that unless it's traditionally published. Like, indie paranormal authors don't exist. Like, that's writing paranormal 365 days a year.
Yeah. And that's insane to me because I read so much goddamn paranormal, it's ridiculous. Most people see me doing reviews and they be like, oh, she just read urban fiction. No, I do not. Because I started out with Stephen King.
Paranormal is where we was at.
I started out with Stephen King. Stephen King reeled me in. So and Rice. Because I didn't, at the time, that's all they had at Books A Million and Barnes and Nobles and Second and Charles, and Borders, showing my age. But that's all they had was Anne Rice, Stephen King.
Because I was reading it too. Because that's what we're picking up. But we really, the thing about us is we're able to envision us in the story, regardless of what character it is.
Exactly.
So if we were being hyped up, like our counterparts hype each other up when stuff comes out, people would know that it's Black paranormal out there. Like, you literally have to, L.A. Banks.
Oh.
I feel like if she was still alive, I think she would definitely change the game.
She would have been a Danielle Steele of paranormal.
Yeah. Yep.
She really would have been J.R. Ward. Put it like that. She would have been J.R. Ward.
And I read Black Dagger Brotherhood. You know what I mean?
I love that series. Shit, I got it up there.
Right. I got the books on my bookshelf. So it's like, we support that. I was going to Books A Million as soon as it released. Yeah. But when our books release, they're not getting read in the paranormal genre. Even when people say, hey, I'm going to check out your catalog or I'm going to read your books, a lot of people have said that. Yes, some people have read it, but I can see it. It's not what it should be. If people are saying, hey, I want to support, I'm going to read your books. I mean, hey, you may not like it. You could have picked it up and just didn't like it or whatever. But we don't get support. And that's just a flat out answer. We don't get support at all.
And I think that is across the board because indie authors across the board, y'all do not get as much support as y'all should. And when y'all do get support, it's always the ones getting ready to go traditionally published, and nothing against nobody going traditionally published. Before anybody says
that's normally when all the support comes.
And then they'll be like, oh, I read this book before it even went indie. I mean, before it went traditional. And then they're on the coattails of that. You know what I'm saying? But how do we as I'm finding it. I said I was going to start being more politically correct. I can't. All right. See, look, some people are just put into positions where they promote books and they don't even read them motherfuckers. And then they will promote these goddamn books and they get all the hype. And it's a shame because it be authors that literally put their heart, mind, sweat, tears, money in. Oh, gotta do jigsaw. As soon as I start acting up, here it comes. TikTok don't be on me. But how do y'all be putting y'all blood, sweat, and tears into y'all books? Y'all put your own money into your books. People don't realize y'all have to pay that postage to send us. You know, whether you want to call us influencers or book talkers, whatever. Y'all have to pay for that to send this to us for us to make videos, but then they be piss poor fucking videos. There's no excitement about the book. So people don't realize you coming into the book world, you're helping them. You're helping the indie authors, especially when you come into the indie world. You're helping the indie authors when y'all talk about it, when y'all really walk on it, when y'all stand on business, when it comes to them, y'all help them. Because there is always somebody lurking and seeing what's going on. If your excitement is exciting and then the people in your comments are excited, guess what? Somebody else is going to go purchase that book. Somebody else is going to want that book because people get FOMO all the damn time.
Right, because when you purchase that book, you're going to start seeing on your For You page, start seeing other authors that write in that genre where you're like, oh, I didn't even know this author existed. Or it's going to pop up in your Kindle or on your Amazon or wherever. It's going to pop up to say, hey, this is another author that you might want to read. But because Amazon they don't push us. Even with the urban, we don't get pushed.
No.
So it's like if we don't have that support
for us to see y'all books on there, y'all tell us it's released. We go on there, it's not even up. So
and then I have to send out the link because it's up.
Yeah.
But you typing in the name or you typing in my name and it's not coming up.
Yep. It did that with Shades.
Yep.
I ain't even see it. I didn't even see it.
I think I messaged you like, hey, Shades live.
You did. Because I didn't see it. Amazon be on bullshit. It's already
they be
got
on
half
that.
a penny.
Exactly. Like they be on straight BS, and I don't understand what. I guess people don't know exactly what indie authors go through when it has to do with publishing. It's not as easy as people think it is, or we're making all this money. You have some that they probably are making a decent amount of money, but they really not making what they should have got. Like when Kindle first came out, you had millionaires when ebooks first came out. Like they was making millions, and now they've dumbed it down so much that basically, when we're sending out our own books or when we price in our books a certain way, it's so we can make some type of profit off of it. Because really, honestly, we be taking a cut.
Y'all do.
And sending out books, and then it's just like, but we also do it because we love writing. We love our books, and we love our readers because, hey, y'all supporting us. But
well, you know how I felt about it. We had this discussion offline. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there are people who really is about it, and then there are people who just trying to get a coin, and there are people who take because they have big followings, and then they use y'all and don't really promote y'all. But they'll promote the next one that's going to go traditional. You know what I'm saying? And that irks
or already traditionally published person.
Exactly. And it irks the fuck out of me so much. I can't tell somebody what to do with their page, but I could damn sure block your ass because I could never. And I guess, and I spoke about this earlier. I said traditionally published independent authors saved my life because I was at my wit's end and was about to end. Nope. TikTok don't. Yeah. I was about to end it all until I found books because PTSD is a bitch.
Escapism. Yeah. It's an escapism. And it's like somebody needed. Somebody needs to see it. Like it was a lot of people, that it was a ton of people who thought I was a brand new author. No, I've been here for a long time. I'm not a brand new author. I've been writing. We just didn't have the support. Like I had my core fans who was picking up the book every time one released. But just think of if everybody was supporting everybody, how many books you would be getting.
People want free books, but they don't want to put in the work for it. You know what I'm saying? This is like And I know some people are like, this is not my job. This is a hobby. True. But you're accepting books from authors. And you're just like, oh, look at the book I got. And that's the end of the video. Or it's, look at the book I got. Oh, look at the book. It's like 20 goddamn books, and you're not even explaining about it. You're not talking about it. You're not even giving them their flowers. It's just a, oh,
listen, you got the other people over there dressing up like the characters and giving whole dissertations.
So don't y'all be coming at me when I get my dissertation, when I do my reviews, because there is a reason why I do that shit. Thank you very much.
Like, I mean, they get really into it, and I think people have gotten on that wave of, okay, I finished this book, let me hurry up and pick up the next book. Okay, I finished this book, let me hurry up and pick up the next book. And, you know, we came from a generation of readers where we can reread a book because you always gonna find something different that you didn't catch the last time. And I think people are looking for those quick pickups. And I don't write that. I'm not. So don't ask me, because I'm not going to write something with less point of views or no plot. I'm just not.
That's the thing.
Exactly, Phoenix.
When people read white authors and they read their paranormal series, it's an author called Lorelai. She has a Breed series. I've read every book in the Breed series, every fucking book, and I've reread it, and she has multiple points of view. I have never seen in none of her reviews or none of her shit anybody be like, I just fucking hate all these different point of views. Now you come over to the indie world, and especially the Black indie side or the BIPOC indie side, because Latinx authors get it. And people who are in the LGBTQIA community get it, that are of color. They get it, and they will literally chop y'all down with book reviews that are just asinine. And sit up here and make these reviews knowing they're bad. Make videos for clicks. Not giving a fuck about y'all mental. Because like I said earlier, I had an author literally told me she quit. I love her book, and she told me she quit, and she hasn't wrote a book since. I haven't heard from her. The last time I talked to her was it. She said she was done. She took down her socials. She was done, and she was a good paranormal author, and I was just so pissed. You know what I'm saying? So
it happens. I'm trying to tell you, it happens. Like, if you don't have like a core base or like a core group of friends that will keep you out of that mindset, trust me, you would barely have any indie authors.
But it be our
because people. I know. Trust me, I know. And I deal with it on a daily basis. So it's like, it don't take anything to support anybody. Even if you didn't read it, share it. Even if you don't like paranormal, you know somebody that does. Suggest it. Because you don't have to write negative stuff.
You don't. And then you sound like that crime bitch that was on Kelly Clarkson.
Yes. That's exactly. I ain't even going to go there.
I'm going to say it. Y'all, when y'all do derogatory stuff like that, that's what y'all sound like. Y'all sound like that fucking crunchy hair bitch. Y'all sound exactly like her. We have to do better as indie community. You know, she's about coin. She remade herself in so many different images of a white woman. It don't make no sense.
But no part in all.
She girl, that wig be crunchy than a motherfucker, like a damn Brillo pad. But and makeup look like funeral ready. But we have to do better as a Booktalk community. And I ain't talking about Booktalk, because Booktalk, when people think of Booktalk, they think white. I'm talking about Black Booktalk. Because we have some very amazing authors that's right here are available to us, and we bash. And unfortunately, there's a lot of us that support, but the outliners of the bad people, they tend to come back down. So They tend to be the loudest. Even though we try
Yeah.
to be more positive and, do the things that we do, it's always the bad ones to get the recognition. But we have to be louder. But the problem is we got to stick together. We got to stop
Yeah.
taking, okay, I do this and I'm better than you. And I do this and I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody copy or nothing, because some of y'all, woo,
Mm.
bruh.
Mm.
But as a whole, as a whole, we need to stick together. We have to support indie authors. We want them to make the money. We want them to do the things that they do. We want them to do it. What? Blossom, I ain't saying too much. I ain't saying too much.
I mean, but that is true, because y'all gotta think about it. Like, as an indie author, it doesn't matter how many positive reviews you get or you have. That one, and it's not even about the negative review, because if it's constructive, not one author cares.
Right.
It's the disrespect
Mm-hmm.
and the flat out lying in reviews
Yeah.
that just gets under our skin, or make us not even feel like writing anymore. Because why?
Yeah.
And they're loud about it.
Yeah.
And they're louder than those positives.
Yeah.
And it's like you have one side where you don't want to blow up or come off and say something because you have a brand, you have a, your business, blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, I'm not going to let you disrespect me nor my work or the work that I put into it. So if you're loud, you need to be loud to me. Like, you can say that to me, but they don't. They just put it out there, and other people feed off of it, thinking that it's funny, when this is somebody's life and a way to support them in their living. Like, this is someone's career, and you don't care.
And she made, okay, I don't want to fuck up your name, but she made a good point. People say that fictional books are not based in realism, and I say it all the time. Fiction is based in realism. I don't give a fuck how you put it, whether it's contemporary romance or it's paranormal. It's based in realism. Some tidbit nugget in there is realistic. So you never know what author had put her life in that book, a little snippet of her life in that book, while you're disrespecting it. You know what I'm saying? So people are so careless nowadays, and I blame the social media, right? People are so careless with other people's feelings, and I always say that most people that are bullies was probably bullied as kids. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking it out on other people via social media. But then you come across a bitch like me, and I roll up on your ass. Just saying.
Exactly.
I
think they be forgetting that. Like I said, I told you before, these people be behind screens or behind their phone thinking it's sweet. But you got people out here that this is their livelihood. This is something that they've been building for years, and you feel like you can come in and be disrespectful. Some people don't play that. I don't get online. I don't talk. Look, I don't do all that stuff. I ain't trying to go back and forth with. I don't have time for back and forth stuff. Storm ain't got time for back and forth stuff.
Girl,
Listen, I keep trying to tell people, I write crazy people. Where does that realism come from if it's unrealistic?
Because I'm definitely 2 sheets to the wind crazy.
No, but it's like people feel the need that they, or think that they can say whatever they want to say to people without consequences, and call it stating their opinion, but can't handle when you give them your opinion. You gotta stop that.
So what is your advice? Because I saw somebody saying they're writing a book now, and they said they're kind of scared because, of this type stuff. What is your advice to people who are really trying to get into indie writing and write their novels and find their people? What is your advice to them?
First, find your support group. Find the people that you can call in the middle of the night or text in the middle of the night to just vent or talk to. Because it is going to be hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is going to be hard. It's going to be times where you just want to say F it and throw the computer across the room because you tired, or you do publish and you just get all this negative feedback because people probably didn't even read it and are just haters. And you have to realize that, and you have to tell yourself, you have to mentally prepare yourself for not everyone's going to like your work, but someone is going to love it. So the first thing that you need to do is have your core group and stick with those people so you have someone to lean on. And you can be that person, you know, if they need help, they can lean on you as well. Because that's the only way that you're going to actually make it. Like, that is the only way you're going to actually make it without losing your mind because of the way that people are. Like, you got short attention span people who just want to read a 60-page book. If that's what you want, don't pick up a book that says 342 pages and then say it was too long. So, but anyway, back to if you're trying to write. Don't worry about what the niche is. Don't worry about what other people are writing. Write what's on your heart and the story that you want to tell. And it's going to sell. It's going to sell because it's going to be coming from you. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same storyline as everybody else because you're writing for you.
How do you fight against stereotypes in your genres? How do you fight against stereotypes being a woman? Because, you know, you're like, oh, women are just so emotional. So how do you fight against stereotypes in your genre when you hear like males that are in the same genre be like, that's just, you know, that's how women write?
I just look at them because emotion where? Like, it takes a lot to pull emotion out of me. So I just look at them and then I say, let's see who can write the longest book. And more than likely, they never can.
No.
So it's like, I don't have time to prove anything to you. Right. You can stereotype me all day. I'm just going to outright you every single time.
Thanks. That's why we give birth to children in you guys.
Right. So I get myself to write from draft to publish. It just depends on the book. It depends on the book and how the story is flowing. If I feel like that I'm being stagnant or something like that, I'll go ahead and give myself a pre-order date. That way, it's like, it's motivation for me to, this is my deadline of when I need to get this done.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't even try to do that until I'm like a quarter of a way or halfway through the book. Sometimes I just go ahead and set a date, and I might not start till like 3 weeks before it's due and just finish it. But it just depends on what you're writing. So give yourself all the time that you need, and don't let people make you rush, because then that's all they'll complain about is, oh, it felt rushed.
That is true. People do say that a lot.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I wanted to say I appreciate you so much, because
I appreciate you, all the stuff you're doing.
No, because you took a chance on somebody who had just started out in Booktalk. Because I really hadn't been on Booktalk that much, but I read Brothers That Bite and just couldn't get enough of that series. And then I read Product of the Street and just, you know how I felt about that. But but you took a chance on me when a lot of authors was just looking at me like, you don't have enough followers for me. You don't have enough people following you from me. You're not
I think that's where people get it messed up, because you can have the followers, but that don't mean you got the support.
that is
You
true.
support indie authors, period. Not just Black, all.
I do.
And let's just say you didn't like it. You aren't disrespectful in that.
No, I don't even. As a matter of fact, y'all never hear about it.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of books I didn't put down, but you will never know that, because why?
Yeah.
I'm not. If somebody else might love it, I'm not gonna stop somebody else's shine or somebody else's bag because I didn't like something. It just might not have been for me. But you take chances on indie authors all the time, brand new authors, and you will do any and everything to push them out, to get people to read it, to talk about it. You'll stop your whole life to say, hey, this is such and such. They got a new book out. And it's not enough of that at all. Like it's not enough of that. And it's like, this is what we need. Like what you and Boozy and them, Boozy Book Tours is doing, this is the type of stuff that we need.
Well, we gonna keep pushing because y'all gonna get sick of me.
I'm ready, shoot. I'm ready.
I don't. I just feel like I said, you took a chance on me. A lot of authors turned their nose up at me when I was hitting them up when I first started this podcast.
I can't believe it.
They literally was just like, no, no, or they'll give me the maybe later in the year, type deal, and never heard anything from them. So, you, Kenya Wright, Sonia B, Nicoya Zane, who else was it? Even Corbin, the narrator. All of y'all literally took a chance with doing interviews with me, and just allowing me to be me. You know what I'm saying? And I've been like, damn, she drinking on this interview? She cussing her ass off. Y'all allowed me to be myself, and
that's what makes it authentic. That's what makes it authentic, and that's what makes it personable to other people. Be yourself. Love the books that you're reading. Gushing about the stuff that you like, that everybody else likes or want to like, if they allow themselves to like it. Why would I want you to be anybody else? Be you. And once you're you, I can be me, because then I'll feel like we are just sitting in front of each other having a conversation.
Hold up. Blossom? You know why you ain't gave me an interview? Because your ass be ducking a bitch. But I got you. Now that you said it, you on my radar. And since your book is dropping, what, is it December? Since your book is dropping in December, guess what, ma'am? I want an exclusive. Me. Moi. Not nan of the bitch. Me! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for your services. Thank you. But I also want to talk about how you also give indie narrators a chance. I ain't talking about fake ass bitches. We ain't gonna discuss that hoe, because my 1-2 punch is still after her. But I'm saying you do give opportunities to narrators, indie narrators, that a lot of people haven't heard of or have heard of, but they never heard them in this type of, So I want to give you your kudos for that and your flowers for that.
Thank you.
No, Blossom. It be you, Blossom. It be you. You be bringing that out of my ass.
We're going to set up a schedule for her to come up here and do an interview.
I got to, because she be talking bad shit. I need to look her in her eye. She be talking mad shit. Look at Shannon, absolutely. She said, what the hell? Nah. See, you be in them comments. Nah, me and you, we gonna be right here. And I ain't gonna have my glasses on because I really need to. Yeah. Your ass need a paddle to your ass. Anyway. but you see something? I'm trying to save you from you. Girl.
Don't mess with her.
I'm gonna get her. But like I said, I appreciate you taking a chance on these narrators because it's so many great ones out here. It's one in particular, but I'm a call you on that one because I got a question. Is it possible? But I got a question. You know what I'm saying? I just got a question. But
I got a question. I'm done.
But I'm gonna ask that offline, and that's gonna be a conversation between me and you. But I appreciate you. Shut up, Shannon. Mind your business. Mind your business. Oh, quirky. I appreciate you so much. You have done so much for me as a book talker. You have lifted my spirits when it comes to paranormal because it's hard finding you guys because it's always drowned out by those who write those one books for a particular month. You know what I'm saying? You, Phoenix Williams, Melody Lynch, who else is it?
It's actually a good deal.
It's a lot. Liz Bullard. It's a lot of y'all. People just don't know. And so that's why I hope y'all tune in for the month of October because I am going to have a lot of paranormal Black authors. Mm-hmm. Some are traditional, some are indie. Well, I only got 2 traditional, and that's Celestine Martin and Terry J. Benton Walker. So, but I have so many indie paranormal authors. Y'all really need to embrace them because I hear it so much. Could you give me a recommendation for paranormal? And y'all never read the shit.
Yeah.
Y'all never read the shit. Y'all ask for these recommendations and y'all don't read the shit. Y'all do that shit for clout. That shit irritates my soul and make my ass
It is, Phoenix. It really is. It is. Yeah, they honestly, I mean, we being honest, you don't really read it. Like you say you're gonna do it, but I think you get stuck when other books is releasing and dropping and you forget about paranormal.
Wait a minute.
It happens.
What you say? What's your name? Valencia T. Send me a DM. Send me a DM. Please.
But yeah, like we just need that's all I'm saying. Like we just need people to support it. If you're gonna read it, read it. If you're not gonna read it, don't even say you want to read it. Like if that's not what you're into, that's fine. But like try other stuff. You probably will help you not be in a reading slump.
Facts.
If you read other genres.
Facts. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, this year right here has been the year of E and Nasty for me. E Bowser and Arthur Nasty. And actually Phoenix Williams too. Because I've been all up in her shit.
Thank you.
Y'all really highlighted Black vampires, monsters, women who are empowered and their men are just they don't make them better and they don't make them bad. They are equals. And I enjoy reading that shit. And if people took the time out to read real Black paranormal, they would see that. They will see that.
That is true. That is true. Like, y'all really got to start to like decentering too that male stuff in books. Like, you ask for strong women, you get strong women, and then it's like y'all brains break because you not seeing the men or
She's
something.
too strong. She too aggressive. If y'all bitches don't grab y'all coochie hairs and keep it moving,
But no, I'm serious. Like, you got to start decentering that because you're gonna be missing out on stuff because you mad that your favorite male, your favorite MMC is not as prevalent and the female is. You can't have both. Like, you can't say you want something and then get mad when you get it. You can't do that.
So I'm gonna give y'all some names, and I want y'all to do some fucking research. You have E. Bowser. You see that catalog up here. I'm gonna need y'all to go look at that catalog. Matter of fact, read the first book in her catalog if you have not read any of her paranormal. Read the first book in her horror books if you have not read her horror. I'm gonna need y'all to go to Phoenix Williams, and I'm gonna need y'all to read her series. The Hellfire Valley is man, it's cracking. And she has the Queen of Beasts series. Then you have Nasty, who has Brothers Unholy. That shit's so fucking good. Y'all are missing out. Then y'all have Tessa Stone, who came out with a whole community of different supernaturals. Like, oh my God. Celestine Martin, she has a whole witch community of black witches. Talking about charm type black witches community, Gilmore Girl type community. She has that, and it's all black people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have Terry J. Benton Walker. He came out with Blood Debt, Blood Justice, and he has a YA book, another YA book like for smaller kids. And it's about voodoo, hoodoo, New Orleans, everything you could think of that you would want in a book. Y'all have to support these people. Y'all have to support these authors. They are not doing this just for their health. They love their craft, but they're doing it for us too. His name is Terry J. Benton Walker. He's going to be on here on the 26th. But if y'all tune in to every weekend, shit, from Wednesday to fucking Sunday, I am going to be interviewing narrators and authors, especially those in the paranormal world. I'm even interviewing females that own their own liquor brands, black females. So there is no reason y'all can't support these indie authors, and there's no reason across the board y'all say, oh, I can't find somebody to read. Baby, what is you, blind, deaf, and dumb? You got to be.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like, people aren't seeing it. And that's the problem, is that the people that are reading it aren't loud about it as they are about other books. And they're reading it. Hey, I read this. Who's going to see it?
And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to hold your hand, as my sister Jazz would say before we get out of here. I'm not going to hold your hand. Y'all as book talkers, if you taking that position as a book talker and you saying that you are a book talker, bookstagrammer, Facebooker, wherever the fuck, Twitter booker, whatever the fuck it's called, take that shit seriously, because your review, whether you have one follower or fucking millions, matter. So it don't take much to go viral. It don't take much to go viral, especially in the indie world. If you're going to get a book from an author, I'm going to say this again. If you get a book from an author, let's start there. Do your due diligence and do justice to that book and talk about that book in its entirety. I ain't telling you to do dissertations like I do, but I'm telling you, put in the fucking effort. I'm not telling you gotta put makeup on. You can be in a bonnet and do a great review. It don't take that much. It don't take that much to do it.
I'm just saying, just think about that whole Kelly Clarkson thing wouldn't have happened if we was out there. If people were supporting how they should be supporting. Because you see who's supporting her, and that's why she's where she is right now. If we were supporting each other like that, we wouldn't even be seeing that at this time.
And this also goes to when you purchase a book and you decide to do a review for it. Don't half-ass that shit, and don't disrespect these authors. Indie authors are putting their own money into this shit. Ain't no traditionally published anybody putting money behind that shit. They are putting their own money into this shit. We as readers, book talkers, and influencers have a due diligence that we should fucking make sure that they get the best foot forward when it comes to us talking about their books. The best foot forward. Once again, I say, just because you wear makeup, just because your wig is crunchy, don't mean that you're doing a good review. Y'all literally got to do better. You know what I'm saying? And even if you do a blog and you type it out, let somebody know. Yeah. Let somebody know that you're doing it, because we're going to follow you.
Yeah.
We're going to follow you. This shit is like a movement. Lady Creole said something earlier. People have different ways of coming at it, but the end goal is to support indie authors. That's the end goal, to support indie authors. But I promise you, there are some of us who will call you out so fucking fast, you'll get whiplash when y'all start acting crazy.
You will get called out. I listen, you heard it here first. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to say what I need to say. You can be mad about it. You can go cry. You can try to say you're being bullied. I'm never going to be mean, and I'm never going to be disrespectful. But I am going to tell you the facts. So if you don't like it, you should keep your opinion to yourself, because I'm going to give you mine. And you're just going to have to deal with it.
Now that I got on the readers, let me get on the authors. Marketing is key. Marketing, and I'm going to say this until my face turns blue. Marketing is key. Marketing is key. Because, like I said, some of us is blind, deaf, and dumb. We need y'all marketing. So we need y'all to be on TikTok. We need y'all to really be out your Facebook groups. All of y'all who in Facebook groups, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all need to get out them Facebook groups. Come here. Bring that ass over here, boy. Come here.
I scream marketing to any author or new author that I talk to. That's what you need. You have to learn how to do it. You can't just push it to the wayside. That has to be a part of your writing process. Like, you gotta market, because people are not gonna see you. That's why I market so much, is because people weren't seeing me. So you just got to keep changing it up until you find what works. But authors, y'all got to market, because we don't know, just because you dropped the book today and you market it for one day, what is it going to be viable for a year or a year from now? Like, that book should be marketed if not every day, every week, no matter how old it is, because it's still something somebody hasn't read.
And I also want to say this. There is so many of us that do book interviews. If you don't like how you see somebody doing an interview, there's probably somebody there who can do an interview that you may like. Not everybody is comfortable with everybody. Not everybody wants to do everybody's podcast. But know this, it helps. It helps to do interviews. So that means you got to make time. You got to reach out. Because I reach out to authors, but I might miss somebody if you don't reach out to me.
I don't even know what tune in is. You're going to have to tell me. Who's tune in?
Oh, tune in. It's like a podcast thing.
See?
Yeah, you have to. And then there's events. A. Lewis is in here. The Bray event. Black authors. Black readers appreciation event. Where y'all can put your books on this list and have us, because we always talking about, damn, when it's like the Kindle, stuff your Kindle day, don't know black people be on there. But then you have shit, don't your ass be on there.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's just one book, maybe it's the book that might be the person that'll have a motherfucker be like, damn, I like this author, I want to read their whole catalog. You never know. But it's events like that that help. It helps. And also, don't have white people doing black books as audiobooks. Don't have white people doing black books as audiobooks. There's too many black narrators that can do it.
Now. Because let's just say about 7 years ago, the only way you was finding a black narrator was if you was traditionally published.
And that's horrible.
That's horrible. How bad it was.
But now, y'all ain't got
out here now.
They is out here. But be mindful. Not demure, but be mindful. Not every narrator is alike. Okay? Some of them is trying to get clout and take your money. Okay? Be careful with that. Not every narrator is on that. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. And make sure y'all doing contracts and NDAs, especially if you're doing these ARC reads. Like, I know new authors are trying to get people out there. You're trying to get people to read your book so they're able to do reviews for when your book releases. Do an NDA. Like, you need to do something to protect your work, because it is people out here that is stealing other people's work or pirating.
Or, hear me out, or you could go to the Boozy Book Publishing Solution and we can build your art team and your beta team, and therefore you won't have to worry about it.
Boom, plug in.
Just saying. Just saying. Putting that out there. So, once again, thank you, E, for coming on. I appreciate you so much. We finna roll this into game night with the Boozy Book Baddies. And I just love you so much. Blossom, when I see you, Ricky, it's on. And you are going to give me that exclusive, ma'am. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. I don't want to see you on nobody else's podcast but mine.
So,
But
thank you, Storm. I loved it. I'm so glad we got to talk about my craziness, my crazy world.
I love your crazy world.
That keep going.
I love your crazy
that keep
world.
going and going.
I love your crazy world. I can't wait because tomorrow I talk to Phoenix Williams, so I get to really. Ooh, I can't wait, boy. This is the happiest I've been able to talk to all these damn paranormal authors. So,
look, and we here for it because we got to get out there. Period. Point blank. Listen, 2025. We all need to be out there. If we doing some type of event, if paranormal authors are just getting on talking live.
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. For all you authors out there, there is a thing called the Boozy Book Tour. And guess what Boozy Book Tour is doing besides the stuff that we usually do? But, we have Houston, still tickets available. Then we have Tulsa, which is still tickets available, where it's going to be the Melanin Ball. It's also going to be the Indie Literary Awards, and it's going to be the Melanated Culture book signing. This lady right here is on the docket. She is on that list for the final three list for I don't even know how many categories, but she is on there. And this is 3. Let me put this. This is voted by the people, and we ain't got shit to do with it. Okay. Voted by the people. So, and then the Melanin Ball is going to be basically Harlem Nights. So come in there dressed to the nines. You hear me? Come in there dressed to the nines. It's going to be a time. We're going to have some surprises. You never know what we might pull out our bag because, sponsorships and partnerships are always around the corner. Just putting that out there. And then we have Raleigh coming up in 2025, which will have a fantasy paranormal corner.
Ooh.
So in there will be spaces for paranormal authors. Authors can sign up right now. Right?
I might have to go back and get into that.
I thought you knew that.
And no, I did not know that. I'm doing Virginia.
Yeah, you doing Arlington. So, yeah.
When is Raleigh?
Raleigh is May 24th, something like that. I'll tell you. I'll text it to you. I don't remember the date. But yeah, we got a Marvel comic book writer that's gonna be there.
Oh no, I got to come. I'm gonna be there.
She wrote a Storm comic book for Marvel. Yes. Shh.
Ooh. That. Okay.
Yeah. We be making moves. We might be small, but we are mighty. We be making moves.
Nothing wrong with that. That's when you make the moves.
And then Arlington, we're going to have the narrators. This is about the narrators. It's about the books and the narrators. So we will be having the mix and mingle with the narrators, and we'll be have the voices behind the books banquet where we will be awarding your favorite narrator. That list will probably go up after Houston, but you will get to vote for your favorite narrator and get them an award. It's just a banquet. It's not an award. Award is a banquet. You know how you have banquets. It's a banquet. And it's a book signing. So y'all get to mix and mingle with your favorite narrators. Act like normal people. Don't stalk these people. Because some of y'all, boy, y'all look crazy.
I don't know. That's how you meet the best people sometimes when they done stalk
Nah, they be out here and mothers be like, I got a wife. What she got to do with me? Oh, okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
That's a little too much.
I got so much to tell you, but I'm going to tell you off. Motherfuckers be wild. Especially after that last announcement I did. Motherfuckers been wilding.
You see your friend.
Who?
Blossom.
What she
in
say?
The comments.
I stalked it. Bye. Bye. But then, we have Chicago right after that. We spinning the block back to Chicago. Chicago will be a Shenanoween themed event. Shenanoween and adult smoke, puff pass because it's legal in Illinois. And drinks and books. And we want y'all to come dressed in y'all Halloween outfits. It's going to be a time, y'all. It's going to be a time. And then 2026, we're going to do the next Melanin Bar, which was going to be in Las fucking Vegas. And that's going to be a pajama jam. So, to house party.
Planning.
Oh, yeah, we own it. We own it. And then also in 2026 is the retreat, where you get to experience a real life girls trip like the movie with the boozy book bag. So you never